Okay, it is 4 o'clock. Welcome to the Easthampton Mayor's COVID-19 virtual town hall today at 4 o'clock. If you have questions, if you have comments, you can enter them in the chat window, or at the end, there will be a time where you will be able to unmute yourself and ask the questions in person. I'll hand it over to Mayor LaChapelle.
Good afternoon, and thank you for tuning in. Today, our guest is Mo Bellevue from the Greater Easthampton Chamber of Commerce, who is going to walk us through one of our very exciting partnership programs, the Sustainable Small Business Grant program that Mo headed up as Executive Director of the Chamber. Before that, I just have a couple of housekeeping items. One, we have some really important school committee meetings coming up. We just had parent forums, and we'll have another set of school committee meetings that will happen weekly. I encourage everybody to go to the Easthampton Public School website to see what the schedule of those meetings. They'll be also posted on easthamptonma.gov. Whether you have children in the schools or not, if you're staff, please tune in, hear about reopening, but also hear about the staffing that's going to be happening in our schools, around schools resource officers. There's been a lot of conversation, came up at the parent forums, and kudos to Chair Cindy Kwasinski, for extending and expanding the school committee's meeting schedule, as well as Superintendent LeClaire for making room for more forums for parents and for staff. At this point, I will formally introduce Mo Bellevue, our amazing Executive Director of the Greater Easthampton Chamber of Commerce. We were very fortunate as a city to be given $30,000 from the Attorney General's office, Maura Healey's office, to help in a very quick turnaround our small businesses here in Easthampton. Instantaneously, a member of the chamber and great partner to Mo, Harbor One Mortgage, Applied Mortgage, Todd and Lindsay Barron, stepped forward saying that they also wanted to help establish a fund to help the small businesses in the area. And then we had at the last minute a third business step in to that abyss to help out. And I'm going to let Mo walk us through who that is and how it all came together. Bottom line, we had people step forward from Attorney General Healey to local business owners, and it made sense to me that we partner with the Chamber of Commerce, who knows our business community the best, to put together a method for distribution of these monies to get them where they were most needed. So Mo, given that big kind of drum roll, can you walk us through how you put together the program, what it's about, and what we can expect next?
Sure. So thank you, Mayor, for inviting me to be your guest here this afternoon. And I am out of my mind, super excited about this program and the partnership that we have developed. And it's been a whirlwind. It came together really, really quickly. Our focus, in our discussion with Mayor and our other partners, our focus was to really make this process be as simple as possible, to remove as many barriers as possible, and to get dollars out to those who need it as quickly as possible. So, gee whiz, I don't even know. I've lost like all concept of time, but it feels like maybe a few weeks ago.
Oh, it was.
It was actually, so maybe, let's see, what is this? So 1, 2, 3, maybe 5 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, if that, the conversation started, and we decided, yes, this is what we need to do. And we took the bull by the horns, and the administrative side, which is the chamber side, we pulled together and developed the application and the application requirements, which was really simple, which was just 1 page, almost less than 1 page, and our mission and our focus. We launched that grant application on July 1st. And it was 2 weeks of application taking. It closed on the 14th, 5 p.m. And we had a total of 31 qualifying applications.
Wow.
So we got together, actually we had 37 altogether, and we got together with our review committee, who is Sandra Costello of Sandra Costello Photography, Jen Bruff of Fink in Paris, and Landon Jenkins of Old Colony Package Store. And they were the ones who processed the applications, made sure that everybody had their documentation in place and in order. And as it turned out, we had 31 qualifying complete applications. Then we went through the process of trying to figure out, we had a total of $40,000, and we were shy. We were not able, at that point, to gift 2 businesses their full request, and then we were only going to be able to do a partial for another business. And that's when Suite 3 came forward and said, "This is it's a crime and a shame. We can't let this happen." And they stepped in to cover the balance of that. So in total, we're going to be gifting out $43,132. So
that's amazing.
Has me out of my mind excited, and we're in the process now of informing, hopefully over the next day or so, I'll be informing everyone of their status, and that's where I'm at. And I'm
I don't think you did. You skipped over kind of a big, amazing part of this.
I did?
Yes. So we got notice, my office got notice from Attorney General Healy's office that we were awarded the $30,000. And we weren't really sure in City Hall about the capacity of how we were going to get the word out and the application. And I will say that you stepped immediately into that void. So it's not as if the process was predetermined and they gave us a method.
No, and I might add, I was approached by the Barron family wanting to do this, and I don't know how technical I can really get, but although the Chamber is a nonprofit, we are not a charitable nonprofit, so we're not able to take in those dollars. So rather than lose that opportunity for our businesses, I quickly reached out to Mayor LaChapelle to see how we might be able to partner and to make that happen. And so, and it was instantly, it became apparent that we just couldn't let that pass us by. And so that's where the partnership developed, and we were able to do, the city's the fiscal arm and we are the administrative arm, and it's a beautiful thing.
I must say, it is a great example and a partnership, public-private partnership. It's always important, and it doesn't always happen this way, where government needs to understand where their strengths are. And while we were thrilled to receive the money from the Attorney General, it was very apparent to myself and folks in my office of, okay, how do we get the word out? What should we be asking on an application? We described in the grant just who needed help in Easthampton, and that it was small amounts of money out to our businesses as fast as possible that was needed, at least to bridge a little bit of a gap for folks, and to be able to go to the chamber with the money that we got from the AG and the Barron family and Applied Mortgage stepping forward. The timing was great. And I also want to just make the second LEAP connection to the Sustainable Small Business Grant, but also to Blueprint Easthampton, and which is getting underway now, which is really a map of resources for Easthampton, and the Chamber taking this particular project out before Blueprint Easthampton launches was a great a great opportunity. And there's one thing to find out where you can get something, but I think it's very important that we were able to actually give something out and make folks, it was a pretty easy one-stop shop. And I see these kind of partnerships just growing going forward, as it literally is all hands on deck in the face of this pandemic. So thank you very much for that. And Emma, with this grant and how it was dispersed, they're all very hyper local businesses. You're talking about Easthampton, Westhampton, Southampton, where the application and distribution went out was not all over Hampshire County. It was really the parameters of your chamber, correct?
Correct. Yep.
And
it wasn't, and we have a beautiful mix of both chamber members and non-chamber members. And so that's, and that was the intention. You know, rising tides lift all boats, and these are extraordinary circumstances, and it really needed to be as universal as possible. And so I did a lot of research when we developed the application too. So it wasn't just a random pulling out of the air of questions. It was researched.
I also think it's noticeable, like the review committee. I was really happy from a mayor's office perspective to somewhat take any politicization out of the selection process and the review process, and have 3 business owners, right? Very different businesses, very different types of businesses, number of employees, take a look at all of those applications, and also work with you to get the business verification. I think it's extraordinary that the applications open on July 1st, and by July 14th, it was done. And we're ready to write checks, little bit of bureaucracy, but it's a quick turnaround.
Well, and also too, I want folks to understand that although the application process ended on the 14th, we were also, people needed to have the ability to send in downloaded handwritten PDF applications via US mail. So I needed a few days to allow that to happen. And that's why the committee didn't get together until Monday, the 20th. And I also want to point out that also the committee is not all, they're not all chamber members. So that's an
important point. I mean, to jump in. And also, I mean, the number of resources found on your chamber website, by just clicking on easthamptonchamber.org. Did I get that right?
Yes.
Is open to anybody in the business community and to the public, right?
Yes, and I've been working very hard since the shutdown, since the middle of March, focusing most of my time, making sure that gathering all of that information, gathering resources, making sure the sources of those resources are viable ones, and making sure that it's clear, concise. There's not a lot of noise or fluff involved. You just boom, you got, and not only. We made it accessible to the whole community. So it went out, we distributed it out to our member list. We distributed it out to our overall newsletter list, which is a huge mix of residential, business folks. And then it was also available on our website. So, and anybody can also sign up for our newsletter. So if you want information like that, when we get it, that's when we push it out. And I really focused on not pushing out, again, like a bunch of fluff, just to send out a communication. It was when it needed to put out, so that your inbox was not flooded. There's so much, we're all juggling so much at this moment that it didn't want people to become overwhelmed. I mean, it's overwhelming anyway.
Yes, it's all over. Yes. So what happens now to this program? You've just given away a whole bunch of money. And what's the possibilities going forward?
Well, there's a huge need. There's a huge need, and I don't necessarily see that going away. And going on for a while, let's just say. And so my hope is that there will be other businesses who are able, and if they would like, and they have the financial flexibility to do so, to consider contributing to the fund, because I can see this being a longer term situation, and I can see perhaps more than one round, and even longer term, even beyond COVID, I can see perhaps that even happening where we can maybe focus on a particular need that's happening at that time in the future, which beyond COVID. So
I mean, yeah.
I just wanted to say, and if there are businesses that are interested in doing that, they just need to get a hold of me, contact me, and they can get me at info@easthamptonchamber.org or call the office, which is 527-9414. And I would be happy to help them understand how they can get that to happen.
That's great. I mean, because we've certainly seen businesses in Easthampton, some have been able to pivot slightly and to make it work. Some, it's just not, they don't feel they have the capacity or the safety measures in the particular type of business to open safely. And some have completely pivoted their business model and are doing okay. If anyone, I mean, what you speak of, and I think this program is a great example, is that we all need to help each other as much as we can. And whether that's buying something very locally or being able to work with you on some funding projects, we all do better. We all stay afloat. We all stay standing if we can help each other and keep our minds open to that. So it's great to hear that the grant program isn't a one-time thing and then done, and there's possibilities for it to continue on.
We need the funding, but I'm happy to get that to happen if we can figure out funding.
So folks can get a hold of you at info@easthamptonchamber.org or call your office.
Yep.
Great.
Yep. And we are working from home still, but we check the phone throughout the day. Email's the best way, but
okay. And the newsletter comes out how frequently?
Well, traditionally it comes out once a month. The first Thursday of the month, but through, I would say, maybe 6 weeks into this whole process, I have a volunteer who helps me, Fran Fahey, Fran's Fine Editing. She helps me put up, make that all sound really great and keeps me in that edit place.
Yeah.
Really well. So we decided that it was really important to, the newsletter is a different communication than the coronavirus communication. Yeah. And so it's more about members, what's going on with members. It's more about something positive that's happening in the world. What am I thinking about right now? And that sort of stuff. So, but the newsletter mailing list is the list that we use for COVID communication. So
there's two uses to the list.
Yes.
Gotcha. Well, excellent. Anything else going on at the chamber that we should know about, or as you're trying to navigate, like we all are, how we go forward and operate, that you want to share or let us know? It's the chamber what we should watch out for?
Well, I've been so immersed in this. I don't know. We are like everyone else. This year, 2020 for us is the year that we were looking to expand our strategic plan. So we were already in rethinking mode. Mm-hmm. This just accelerated it by 12 months. Right. So, I spend a lot of my brain time thinking about what is adding value, I don't want my members to be, or the community to have to deal with, fluff and noise. So trying to, we had moved away from programming, event-based, an event-based chamber and move more towards programming. So that's where we're focusing and what's really going to be bringing value. I feel like the grant program that was like right up our alley, you know, the
Yes.
Easthampton gift card, that
Yeah.
is really like all that meaty kind of stuff. That's what we're looking at
Great.
to do more of.
So Mo, I know you've been gracious with your time and have come on my town halls but also appeared when we were doing the TV shows when we could be in person. And I'm not sure if I ever like threw a zany question at you.
Oh, that's not fair. I do that on my podcast.
No. Right. So one, people don't know, right, podcasts. I'm very intrigued and a little jealous you do podcasts that you would know how to do that. That is
I can share that too. I'll share about that.
That was great. You want to talk about your podcast?
Well, it happens to be a partnership yet again with Easthampton Media, and Ryan here is a big part of that. And we try to do a podcast once a month, and it's where I have the opportunity to speak with our members, local people of interest, business owners, entrepreneurs, innovators, and just getting to know them, you know, a little bit more. So, you know, who they are, what they do, but really why they do it. A little deeper introduction, I guess, is like that's what we're doing. Yeah.
How long is it, the podcast?
Well, we try to keep it down to, 30 to 40 minutes max. Sometimes it goes a little over that, but we try to keep it a little, 30 minutes is ideal.
And how can we listen to it?
You can go to the Easthampton Media YouTube channel or the Chamber YouTube channel. It's also, you can listen on Spotify. You can, anywhere you get your podcasts, so Apple Podcasts, right, Ryan?
iTunes podcasts, and it's available on Google Play as well.
Google Play. All right, so how do we find, like, is it just Easthampton, Greater Easthampton Chamber, or what's the title? How do you know it's up? Yeah,
it's Drop the Mic, the Chamber podcast, and it's not just it's a little bit more expansive. I didn't want to have any parameters, so whatever might be of interest to our members and our business community, that's what we do.
Drop the mic.
Yeah, baby.
I love it. That's great. All right, so here's your zany question.
Okay, what?
All right, so I remember in one of our conversations that you're a gardener.
Yes.
A gardener farmer.
Yes.
Okay, so what is your favorite? You look so pained. I'm not trying to. It's not a trick question. It's not a trick question.
Okay.
What's your favorite plant to grow, and why?
Oh dear, what is my favorite? I would say tomatoes.
Ooh.
I know. I'm a tomato girl, but I love them all. They're all my favorites. They're all my.
How many types of tomatoes are you growing right now?
We have, I think, in the high tunnel, we've got 5 different varieties, maybe.
Wow.
Yeah, we've got tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers. Several different varieties of each. Bok choy, green beans, drying beans. What else? Garlic would be my favorite, maybe. Garlic and tomatoes.
And tomatoes. That's a good combo. That's a really good combo. Does anyone have any questions for Mo or about the Sustainable Small Business Grant? Going once?
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Oh, and there's the link to the podcast in the chat. That's awesome. Excellent. Okay. So Mo, thank you very much for joining us. Ryan, I don't know if there are any questions in the chat or
there's a comment.
Yeah.
Good comment. Good work for everybody. And everybody's doing great work. I agree.
Excellent.
And Elaine would like to know why Pat is saying no and LOL to the tomato question.
Uh-oh. No. Pat? Which Pat? Oh, of course, Pepra. That's a great picture, Pepra.
No tomatoes. No tomatoes.
No, tomatoes are hard. I lost all my tomatoes last year to blight, and I was like, never again.
We have a ton of tomatoes actually in the yard, so I'm not a fan.
Pat thinks they're bad for you. Pat
That's
thinks they're
right.
bad for you.
Oh, roasted tomatoes and garlic are my favorite. They're so good. They're so good.
I'm sure they are.
Yeah, they're amazing. Amazing. I bet you didn't expect you'd have to explain your tomato dislike, Pat, on yeah.
No. But most of my Facebook people already know. They already know. We had a whole discussion about tomatoes last week. So
Excellent.
sorry, I don't mean to interrupt your.
No, this is great. It's a town hall. It's a town conversation.
True.
Ryan, do we have any other questions or comments?
It was just the tomato one.
All right. So so Susan LaPointe, I see, is on the call. Yes.
Yes.
So I just want to follow up actually with we're speaking of great work of Riverside Industries. And I know, I don't think enough people realize just the grave straits that Riverside Industries and all the wonderful programming that they do, tough straits that they are right now. Susan, I want to make sure that you and Char know that I have been calling into Boston and had a conversation today with Representative Carey about funding. And I on top of the wonderful programming, in your email, you were talking about like 169 employees. Is that the number of folks who work at Riverside in different capacities and different schedules? Is it that many employees?
It is, yes. It's actually, we've been as much as, if we include the individuals that we serve, we're closer to 200 employees.
Wow.
But right now, the number of employees is at around 169, and that's the employees, and then it's over 250 individuals that we serve. So, yeah.
Amazing. And but on that good work, and I think it's just in the background when we're having this conversation about pulling funds together for our small businesses, there's just a vital part of Riverside Industries work in our community that's a part of small business, but also really key services and high quality of life for everyone. Regardless of how they mobilize within our community, and the funding out of Boston and the federal government has, I think, really been, it's just been pushed to the back burner. And so know please that my office and myself are, stamping our feet, and Dan Carey had no idea what was coming towards him when I happened to see him mask to mask. And definitely heard it. And I'm, I will just say I'm very concerned that our state budget is being put off more and more, because I know that just leaves Riverside in all of these services and programs, employees, and clients really not even on a limb, but just standing on thin ice. And that's truly unacceptable. And these crucial human services, if no other time they should be provided, it's now. It's
absolutely, now. Absolutely, it is. It's not time to go back into where we were in the 60s and the 70s. Yeah. We've made such strides and such progress, and it's amazing what our staff has been able to do remotely in some form or fashion. But that's not our true mission. It's about having that integration and being in the community, which. Yeah. But there still could be a way that we could do that. There's no doubt. So many businesses have adapted and found a way to function, and that's what we're wanting to do again. So
yeah, no, absolutely. Well, I was glad to pin down one legislator right here in Easthampton today, but certainly am making calls into Boston, and I just find it really incredible. Like that, this key part of services and functions that continues to get pushed to the back burner. I understand everything is important, but and if nothing, on top of it, I mean, that many of employees, and we in City Hall benefit so much from Riverside Industries and the work programs, and so it affects folks in different ways that no one would suspect. So
You're right.
So that's what you get for talking about tomato soup, huh? You didn't think you were going to be a TV star, but it is. It's important. I mean, all we can do, and if people want to help or talk to you more about Riverside Industries, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
The best way is, I'm working both at home and at One Cottage, but my email, which is slapointe, LAPOINTE @rsi.org.
Okay.
So I'm happy to share how things are going or how things are not going, and even just, there still is, even though we've been around for 50 years, there's a lot of people in the community that really don't know what we do at Riverside. And I'd be more than happy to share that, and then hope one day we can back to, letting people come and tour what we do. We're at a better capacity. So, yeah. But I do want to publicly say I really, really appreciate all of your support, that you have been so quick to respond to my outreach to you. And I know you're in our corner, so thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And when the cafe opens again, I can't say enough about grilled cheese at the Riverside Cafe. A big favorite of mine.
Yes.
Delicious.
Especially with tomatoes on it.
I was just going to, I was going there. Top rough.
This is the only one we get him live.
I know, right? He's like never coming to town hall again. He's done. or use a pseudonym. Thank you very much for letting me put you on the spot, Sue. And please, people, reach out. If nothing else, check out the website. But Riverside Industries does so much for the community and truly is integrated. And we do not want to go back to the 60s and 70s.
We want to still be here. We want to still be part of the community, and right now that's in question. So, but you follow our Facebook page. I'm constantly updating that with a lot of good news. Like Mo, I try to keep a lot of good news occurring. Yeah. So, and then we've got our good news guru there, the 01027 man. So,
Yeah. I've heard about him. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I've heard about him. No, I have.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Sue and Pat. I'll never look at a tomato the same way. Ryan, do we have any questions or comments in the chat?
I'll give everybody, a last chance to say something if anybody has any more comments. And so ends what will undoubtedly go down in history as the tomato episode.
Exactly. I will just give a heads up to everybody. To be negotiated with the availability of Easthampton media staff, we're going to start migrating the town hall to late afternoon going forward, so more folks can tune in live and ask questions, and we'll gear towards... Yay. There you go. All for you, Elaine. But also, too, it allows me to get some folks onto the town hall and do some more forums. Later afternoon, folks are more available. So look for some programming changes and figuring out a schedule. So I'm not going away. Town hall's not going away, but we're just going to drift more to like tea time in the afternoon. Mm-hmm. I can't, with lots of tomatoes, like you just popped up on my screen again. For this segment of the Mayor's Virtual Town Hall, thank you all for tuning in, but also for those who will be watching this once it is posted, if you have an idea for a guest or a topic or questions that you want answered or maybe presented, please let me know and we'll make that happen. Thank you very much, Ryan.
Just one thing.
Uh-oh.
I just wanted to say congrats to Pat, the guru, for making the front page of today's Gazette.
Yes.
You know, I just came here to listen to see what was going on. I didn't know I'd be part of that.
Hey, what about having the fire chief come on and like, you know, meet everybody?
That's a good idea. Yeah, when he yes, excellent. No,
Yeah.
that will happen. That
Okay.
will happen.
I mean, I already know him, but I mean, other people don't, so.
No, that's a great idea, Elaine. Thank you very much for that.
Okay, cool.
I will. We'll book them. Book them, Daniel. Okay. Everyone, stay safe. Please cover your nose, your mouth, wash your hands, and stay home as much as you can. All right. Take care.
This episode and all other episodes of the Mayor's Update are available on Easthampton Media's YouTube channel under the Mayor's Update playlist. Thanks everybody for participating and for watching.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah.
Bye.